Good morning, all of you. I hope you all have enjoyed your vacation, Diwali vacation, and also enjoyed Diwali with cracking more crackers and eating different kinds of sweets, isn't it? So, now it's time to start our new semester, that is semester 2, and with that we have to move forward with our new chapter, that is chapter number 10 in your textbook, respiration in organism. Respiration, first we have to understand what is respiration, what is it's important for, why is it important to us. Organism means living organism we are talking about, so why any living organism needs to respire. So that all we'll discuss in this chapter. Along with that, we'll also discuss how that takes place inside any living organism. And especially, I hope you would be more interested towards how respiration takes place inside the body of living organism, that is ourselves, human beings. So let's start the chapter. First, the question what arises in your mind is, what do you need to do to survive each and every day here on earth? If I ask this question, so if you are like most kids, you will say eating and drinking are the two things that probably come to your mind first. However, there is one another important thing you need to do constantly to survive. What are we talking about? Are you guessing what we are talking about? It's breathing. It's what? Breathing. Okay. So we do it so often and without thinking that it is easy to forget about. We can go days without water and possibly weeks without food, but we cannot go minutes without breathing. So breathing is very important, and we can say it is the first criteria that a living organism has to do to survive. Without breathing, without respiration, no living organism can survive. So to survive, the most important thing is breathing, to take in oxygen. Okay. Now, all living things respire. Respiration is a process that includes breathing. What I am saying here, respiration is a process that includes breathing. That means breathing is included in respiration. The movement of air in and out of the body and vice versa is known as breathing. For example, such as earthworms breathe through their skin. Fishes use gills for breathing, and plants exchange gases through tiny pores called stomata, which are present mainly on the surfaces of leaves. So here you can mark it down that these are, you can say, objective type questions in your textbook, that how earthworm respires, so that main organ is skin. Fishes respires using their gills, and plants exchange their gases by using stomata. So all living things respire, and in respiration breathing is included. Breathing is nothing different than respiration, but respiration is different than breathing, because respiration is a wide process and breathing is just exchange of gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide. So let's move forward. Let's see the definition, breathing and respiration. You would be more clear about after this definition. Breathing is the process by which organisms obtain oxygen from the air and release carbon dioxide is called breathing. So it is only where any living organism obtain oxygen from the air and release carbon dioxide. It is a physical process. Physical process means which takes place just as a outside, no chemical reaction is involved in that. So it is a physical process and involves movement of muscles and skeleton in order to increase the gaseous exchange inside any living body. Now, so we will further differentiate what is breathing and what is respiration, what mean difference are there, we'll further do it. Then cellular respiration, it takes place inside the living cells where mitochondria is involved for the breakdown of simple food molecules and carbon dioxide and energy is released in the form of ATP molecules. Let's again read it out. What's the definition? Cellular respiration takes place inside the living cells. We know cells are there inside any living body. So it takes place inside the living cell where mitochondria, it is also known as powerhouse of the cell. So mitochondria is involved for the breakdown of simple food molecules. Simple food molecules which we or any living organism takes inside the body in the form of food. It is mainly glucose, and carbon dioxide and energy is released in the form of ATP molecules. So here the chemical reaction takes place, that is glucose is broken down into carbon dioxide and energy is released in that chemical reaction. Okay, so what difference you can find it out here as breathing is a physical process and cellular respiration takes place inside the cells. Breathing is the process by which only exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place, whereas in cellular respiration breakdown of our food molecules takes place and it releases energy and carbon dioxide in the form of ATP molecules. Now, types of cellular respiration. There are two types, that is aerobic and anaerobic respiration. It is given into your textbook. You can read it out and you would be more clear about it. Aerobic and anaerobic respiration. First, it is this reaction is of your cellular respiration, where you can see food when meets with oxygen, means in presence of oxygen, our food which mainly contains sugar, it is broken down to carbon dioxide, water and energy is released. Okay, so this is the chemical reaction, or we can say mathematical presentation of our cellular respiration. Fine. Now, types of respiration, there are two types, aerobic and anaerobic. Let's first read it out. What is aerobic respiration? It is respiration in which glucose is broken down in the presence of oxygen. This word is very important. In presence of oxygen it is taking place, that is why it is known as aerobic respiration. To release carbon dioxide, water and energy. It takes place in most of the organism, means mainly those living organism who respires Mainly they take in oxygen and break the food molecule into carbon dioxide, water and energy. So this is aerobic respiration, where you have to keep in mind two things, that is presence of oxygen is needed and its product what you are getting here is carbon dioxide, water and energy is released. Next, moving further to next type of respiration, anaerobic respiration. It is a respiration in which glucose is broken down in the absence, note down the word, it is absence of oxygen, to release alcohol, carbon dioxide and energy, and mainly it takes place in yeast. So you can note it down here, that is two differences, it is in absence of oxygen and the second is alcohol, carbon dioxide and energy are the byproduct. So main difference what you can notice over here is, in aerobic it was water and here it is alcohol. The other two products are same, carbon dioxide and energy is also there in aerobic respiration here, but the main difference is of water. Here water is released and in anaerobic you can find it out, it is alcohol. So the main difference is of alcohol. Then in anaerobic respiration, in our muscle cells, glucose is broken down in the absence of oxygen to release lactic acid and energy. This type of anaerobic respiration also takes place but in our muscle cells, and because of this only we feel fatigue and our muscles get pain. You might have felt when you do any physical exercise or lot of heavy work, you would find that cramps are forming into your muscles. So that cramps are because of the release of lactic acid, and that lactic acid is causing pain to our muscle cells. Okay. Then process of breathing in human beings. The process of breathing involves taking in oxygen rich air and giving out carbon dioxide rich air. This entire process occurs because of the action of various organs of respiratory system. We all know that we take in air through our nostrils, and when we breathe in, air passes through our nostrils into the nasal cavity. Air then reaches the lungs, which are located in the chest cavity. The actual mechanism of breathing involves the movement of the rib cage and the diaphragm, which are located around at the base of the chest cavity respectively. Parts of human respiratory system, this you can see here. This diagram is also given into your textbook. The main parts are nostrils, then nasal cavity, pharynx, trachea, lungs and diaphragm. So this diagram you have to practice many a times, and especially you have to keep in mind all these parts of human respiratory system. One definition is given here as the number of times a person inhales and exhales or breathes in 1 minute is known as breathing rate. This also is important to you. Then here you can notice that when air is drawn in, means air is going inside the lungs, you can see diaphragm is moving down and ribs moves out, wherein in the opposite case, when air is pushed out, ribs moves back to its original position and diaphragm moves back to its original position. So in the first case you can see the diaphragm is flattened, wherein in the second case you can see it is forming a U shape. In the first case, the space between the rib cavity is more because air is filled inside that ribs, wherein in second case ribs moves to its original position, so that space is lesser. The breathing involves two processes, inhalation and exhalation. During inhalation, the diaphragm moves down and the ribs move upward and outward, thereby increasing the space in the chest cavity. This leads to the movement of air inside the lungs. During exhalation, opposite will happen here. Diaphragm moves to its former position and the ribs moves downward and inward, thereby reducing the size of the chest cavity. Okay, so this you would be more clear. I will show you one short video about this experiment, so you will be more clear how this is taking place. Sorry. Mechanism of breathing. Here also you can understand by the sketch diagram. This is more clear, I think. So see it properly and understand what is there. Then breathing is the process by which oxygen rich air is taken in, carbon dioxide rich air is given out. Taking in air rich in oxygen is called inhalation, whereas giving out of air rich in carbon dioxide is called exhalation. Breathing rate, the number of times a person breathes in a minute is called breathing rate. And this you should know, that is, when a person needs more energy, he breathes faster. Like when you do any physical exercise, jogging, workout, you need more oxygen which is to be supplied to the cells, and more food is broken down and more energy is released. For that we have to respire fast. That's why our breathing rate becomes faster when we do any physical exercise. Whereas when we are sleeping, means at the time minimum work is to be done by the body, so at that time you can say least amount of energy is required, and that's why our breathing rate slows down. So here we end up with the today's part. I hope this is clear to you all. Related to breathing rate, and one experiment and how we breathe, that I am sending it to you along with this. So watch it carefully and understand the mechanism. Okay, thank you. We'll meet in the next video with the remaining part of the chapter. Meanwhile, read the textbook and understand the concept very well. Bye bye.
Breathing and breathing rate. We need oxygen for various body activities. Example, energy production in cell. We obtain oxygen from the air around us with the help of nose and lungs. It is then used in the cells to produce energy. The process of taking oxygen-rich air inside the body is called inhalation. And the process of throwing air rich in carbon dioxide outside the body is called exhalation. Together, inhalation and exhalation is called breathing. Let's now understand how breathing takes place. Air enters in the body through openings of the nose called nostrils. It flows through nasal cavity, enters in windpipe, and then get filled in the lungs. This is inhalation. During inhalation, the muscular sheet called diaphragm situated below lungs undergo contraction, due to which the diaphragm moves downwards and becomes flat. It causes increase in the chest cavity. With this movement, the pressure of air outside the body becomes larger than the pressure of air present in the lungs. To equalize the pressure, air rushes into the lungs. After absorption of oxygen from air into blood and release of carbon dioxide from blood into the lungs, the exhalation begins. During exhalation, the diaphragm relaxes. It moves up and decreases the chest cavity, due to which lungs get contracted, due to which pressure of air inside the lungs becomes greater than the pressure of air outside the body. To equalize the pressure now, the excess air gets rushed out of the body through nostrils. This is called exhalation. A breath is one inhalation and one exhalation. The number of times a person breathes during a minute is called his breathing rate. The breathing rate depends on need of oxygen, which in turn depend on need of energy. Example, during running or in excessive movements, we need more energy and hence need more oxygen. To obtain more oxygen, we breathe at higher rate. However, when we are relaxed or sleeping, we need little amount of energy and therefore little amount of oxygen is needed. In such condition, the breathing rate is lower. On an average, a normal human body is breathing at a rate of 12 to 18 breaths per minute. During heavy movements, it may increase up to 25 breaths per minute, while during relaxed state, it can go down to 12 breaths per minute. In addition to heavy breathing, during excessive movements, we also take deep breaths so as to get more oxygen during each breath. So I hope you understood this topic very well. Thanks for watching this video.
Mechanism of breathing in human beings. Let us understand the process of breathing through a simple experiment. Take a transparent plastic bottle. Remove its bottom. Then take a rubber cork, Y-shaped plastic tube and two deflated balloons. Now to each fork end of the tube, fix the balloons. Cap the bottle with cork. Put the tube attached to the balloons inside the bottle from its open bottom. Make a hole in the cork and pass the open end of the tube outside the bottle through the hole. Now tie a rubber sheet at the bottom of the bottle tightly so that no air can pass through it. Pull down the rubber sheet and watch the balloons get inflated. Now push the rubber sheet inside the bottle and watch the balloons collapse. How do the balloons get inflated and deflated when we pull or push the rubber sheet? When we pull the rubber sheet outwards, the space inside the bottle increases and the air inside the bottle becomes lighter. So the dense air rushes into the balloons from outside. The air enters the tube through the opening outside the bottle. Then the air travels through the tube and enters the two branches of the tubes and into the balloons. When we push the rubber sheet inside, the space in the jar is reduced and the pressure is increased. This pushes the air out of the balloons. The balloons get deflated. Now let us see how this correlates to the breathing system. The bottle is like a human body. There is an empty space or a cavity inside the body filled with air called body cavity. The rubber sheet is the diaphragm which divides the body into two parts. The upper part is the chest cavity. The Y-shaped tube is the trachea and the bronchi. The balloons are like the lungs which are situated in the chest cavity. Now let us see what happens in our body. The opening of tube outside the bottle is the opening in the nose, which is the nostrils. When diaphragm goes down, it makes the chest cavity larger. In the same manner, when we pull the rubber sheet, the space inside the bottle gets larger. The oxygen-rich air from outside enters the windpipe through the nostrils. It happens just like what we saw in the experiment. Air enters the bronchi, like the air enters the two branches of the tubes in the experiment. Then finally, air goes to the lungs and the lungs get inflated as the balloons in the experiment. Similarly, when we push the rubber sheet or the diaphragm, it moves the air up and the cavity becomes denser. There is more pressure on the balloons or the lungs, and air gets out of the body through the same path as before. That means from lungs to the bronchi, windpipe, nasal cavity, nostrils, and finally out of the body. Thus, the breathing is controlled by the movement of diaphragm. Diaphragm is a membrane which is present between the chest and abdomen. The movement of diaphragm is controlled by a group of muscles. In humans, breathing involves two main steps, namely inhalation and exhalation. Taking in air which is rich in oxygen is called inhalation. During inhalation, the diaphragm moves down, in other words, contracts. The rib cage expands. This leads to the expansion inside the lungs. When the diaphragm contracts, the volume of the thoracic cavity increases. As a result, the oxygen-rich air from outside enters the lungs through the nostrils and then to the alveolar sacs. Giving out air which is rich in carbon dioxide is called exhalation. During exhalation, the diaphragm moves up, in other words, relaxes. The rib cage contracts. This leads to contraction of the lungs. When the diaphragm relaxes, the volume of the thoracic cavity decreases. As a result, the carbon dioxide-rich air moves out of the lungs through the same path but in the opposite direction. A human adult at rest on an average breathes about 28,800 times per day. In other words, 12 to 20 times per minute.